Good morning. So, a very different one today because I've just put the washing out to dry. It's the first time this year that I've managed to put the washing out to dry, and it's just a gorgeous blue sunny day. And that highlighted to me how that can relate to leadership. Because in leadership, we have to have the right conditions. And I think what we create those conditions by supporting our team, by providing a psychologically safe space for them. And so I think this is one thing I find really interesting is that I think that I get so much joy from putting the washing out to dry and having that lovely smell of fresh linen when you make your bed. Partly because I think it takes me back to Afghanistan, where I was lying in Afghanistan. We didn't have nice linen and all that kind of stuff. And I just dreamed of having a clean bed that was smelt of that fresh air from actually drying outside. And ever since then, I've been a little bit obsessed, if I'm honest, about having my washing drying outside. But I just think it's so interesting in leadership. We have to provide the right conditions. And that means the culture. What's the culture like? Is the culture one of psychological safety? Is it a culture where people can thrive? Is it a culture where they can call out minor aggressions and feel safe to do so? And is toxicity tolerated, or is it accepted, or is it ignored? Because this is where it absolutely destroys morale. So is it an environment where if somebody is not behaving correctly, is not showing their leadership in terms of, maybe quite aggressive or toxic behavior, whatever, how you would describe toxic behavior, is that being tolerated, ignored, or is this somebody calling it out and saying that's not acceptable? Because I think we see it so much where the individual often there's one individual in an organization or in a team that causes havoc. And until you actually address that individual, it just destroys trust in the rest of the team. And particularly I've seen organizations sometimes, unfortunately, not deal with that individual that well. And therefore that individual ends up almost sometimes even promoted to get them out of the way. And that destroys morale for everyone else. So I think it's having a think about what are you doing with your team? How are you promoting them? How are you supporting them? And how are you giving them the psychological safety to call things out if things are not going well? And also, are you providing an opportunity to fail? Now, what I mean by that, innovation, by definition, takes courage. Courage is when there's no guarantee of the outcome. So are you encouraging your team to experiment? Because that's what innovation is. Experiment. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't work. And actually, other times it will be beyond whatever you can imagine. Now, when I was in Afghanistan, these amazing, incredible, extraordinary surgeons and anaesthetists redefined what a non-survivable injury was, simply by experimenting. They knew that the soldier was going to die anyway because he'd had such severe injuries. We had our first triple amputation when I was out there, and there was nothing lost because he was going to die. So they did everything they could in order to save him. That one individual is now a global speaker around the world, speaking about his experiences, and has changed so many lives with his inspirational messages. And so what I'm saying to you is that sometimes it is worth taking the risk because you never know where it's going to be. I'm always about grabbing opportunities where they are and working it out later. Every time I've actually done that myself, I've had the most extraordinary experience that I would never imagine. It's excelled any expectation I could have had just for taking a little risk. So how are you going to take a risk today? Now, I know this is a bit weird starting off with washing, but there's even the washing can be a risk. You put it outside and it might rain, but actually it might not, and it might be beautifully sunny, and it might actually smell really nice. So everything we do has a risk. So have a think about what risk you can take today that you could be extraordinary. And this is all about the courage to be yourself, the courage to be who you truly are, the courage to step up when you need to step up. And honestly, the rewards are beyond what you could ever imagine. So that's my tip for today. And if you want to know more, I'd love a conversation. And yeah, see you soon. Take care. Bye.